Welcome, race fans, to episode number 30 of the Turn 5 Racing Podcast. We're brought to you weekly by Penn Yan Electronics, RaceChaserOnline.com, Speed 77 Radio, and brought to you by the official DJ and photo booth of the Turn 5 Podcast, Creekside Entertainment. I'm your host, Steve Ovens, sitting alongside this week, Brad, going to be producing for us and being some on-air talent here. Clint was unable to join us, being that we're recording this on the Memorial Day holiday. We want to send out a special thank yous to all of our servicemen and women fighting for our freedoms, and also memorializing those that have paid the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom here as Americans, and we thank you for everything you guys do for us. We're going to talk racing here for an hour this week. We've got a loaded show tonight, Brad. We've got interviews from Ransomville, from Little Valley Speedway for the opening round of the BRP Can-Am 360 Late Model Series. We'll have results from Canandaigua Woodhall. We'll talk a little bit about the Victoria race taking place out at Utica Rome today. And a lot of racing action, Brad. It was a pretty good weekend.
It was a lot of really good racing. The first time, obviously, going down to Little Valley, of course, and just some really, really good racing. The racetrack, of course, at first was a little new, but after getting there and watching it, and they got out there and worked on the track some and got the dust to settle down, really fun track to watch racing.
It was, and it was a little dusty to start with, but they got out, got some water on it, packed it all in, and then even after a couple heat races, they still saw that there was some dust flying up, so they added more water, and really after that point, they really got a hold of it pretty well out there at Little Valley. So we're going to talk about that, and yes, there was a little bit of controversy with the finish. We're going to talk about that. We'll talk about what we saw and what everybody's been talking about in the hours since, both on some of the message boards, and even Gary Montgomery released a statement today out on the Race New York message board, so we'll read his comment as well. And just a lot coming up here on the show tonight. I think before we dive into everything, Brad, we're going to get into our first commercial break, take care of a little business here on the podcast. When we come back from commercial break, we're going to dive right in to the BRP Can-Am 360 Late Model Series at Little Valley. You're listening to Turn 5. Penn Yan Electronics is the official Radio Shack dealer of the Turn 5 Racing Podcast. They're also the only Radio Shack dealer in the Penn Yan area. Visit them at 103 Main Street in beautiful downtown Penn Yan for all of your electronics, cable, music, and cell phone needs. Visit Penn Yan Electronics or give them a call, 315-536-7700. Penn Yan Electronics. RaceChaserOnline.com is your home for news, views, and driver interviews. You can catch everything from F1 to IndyCar, NASCAR, short track, and dirt car. You can also find them on Speed 77 Radio Mondays on Shoutcast. Catch Motorsports Madness live at 7 p.m. and the Stock Car Steel SRI Motorsports Report Thursdays at 7 p.m. Race Chaser Online. Creekside Entertainment is the official DJ and photo booth of the Turn 5 Racing Podcast. If you need karaoke for your bar or party, or if you need the photo booth to create memories that'll last a lifetime, give Stu a call at 315-481-9700, or you can find him on Facebook, search Creekside Entertainment, or find him on the World Wide Web, www.creeksideentertainmentdj.com.
Are you looking for a new podcast that stimulates your mind while tickling your funny bone? Then head over to question-everything.net and download M&M Question Everything, the new and noteworthy podcast that has critics saying things like, "Good job," and "I liked it." With rave reviews like that, what are you waiting for? Find the show on iTunes, Stitcher, streaming online, and anywhere else podcasts exist. M&M Question Everything, a podcast that doesn't take sides.
Your dirt track home for news, discussion, and driver interviews along with race results. You're listening to Turn 5.
Welcome back in, race fans, to the Turn 5 Racing Podcast, brought to you by Creekside Entertainment, Penn Yan Electronics, and RaceChaserOnline.com and Speed 77 Radio. Let's get into the first race of the 2014 Tour for the BRP Can-Am 360 Late Model Series. They were out at the Little Valley Speedway at the Cattaraugus County Fairgrounds in Little Valley, New York. Got their season kicked off and had 19 cars in attendance to try and qualify and for their first feature of their series for 2014, and that was the Duke Duclain Memorial 58. It was going to be a 20-lap feature event, and the theme of 58 was all throughout the night. That was a beloved super stock and street stock driver, Duke Duclain, who we were able to speak to his mother, as well as a close friend from Close Racing Supply. They were able to give us some background information about Duke, all that he did there at Little Valley, and all that he did with his fellow racers. So we're going to hear first from Sharon. That's Duke's mom. She's going to tell us about Duke, and then some fond memories from a close friend of his, Joel Smith. All right, we're over here now on the grandstand side, and getting to do a special interview with Sharon Duclain, who is the mother of Duke, whose tonight's race is named after the Duke Duclain Memorial 58. And Sharon, thanks for joining us tonight, and kind of give us a little bit of the story of the memorial race tonight.
Well, I don't know where to start. Mike has been in racing for years. His dad used to race, but I don't know if you've seen the article that they posted on Little Valley's website.
Yep.
He was pretty much the engineer of the Supers back when they ran, had tons of cars.
Yeah.
And he just did a lot. I don't know. He built a lot of cars, and he was loved by all, and I'm just amazed at everything that's going on tonight.
Well, you guys have had a lot of support with this event. I see everywhere you go in the pits, and over here too, you see the T-shirts, and it just seems like this event is something that would really make him smile.
Oh, I'm sure it would. This is his wife. Levi Watson, who drives the Street Stock 58. Okay. Mike built that car, and in honor of Mike this year, he changed the number to 58 because that's what Mike drove.
Yeah.
And Johnny Woodward has in memory of Duke on his car because Mike helped with him. He drives the 18 Super E-Mod.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's just, and these shirts, we just thought we'd order some, and we're still getting calls today. I mean, we've sold almost 100 of them. It's wow. Amazing, you know.
That's great, and you know, great night for racing. Perfect beautiful. Weather. I mean, it's just for you guys being the immediate family. It's got to make you feel good to be out here at the racetrack with all the friends and everybody that loved him so much.
It does. We, it's bittersweet. I mean, it's sad, but to know how much he was loved and all the support that we're getting, it's just amazing. Amazing. That's
great to hear. Thank you for your time tonight and telling us the story about Duke. And he's smiling down tonight. We've also got his wife here.
This is his wife, Marissa.
Marissa, hello. Oh, she says no interview. Well, we're here having a good time at the Duke Duclain Memorial. You're listening to Turn 5. Here pitside at Little Valley, tonight's racing the Duke Duclain Memorial here at Little Valley Speedway. We're going to get a little more information on the story behind the Duclain Memorial. We're going to talk with Joel Close from Close Racing Supply. And Joel, tell us a little bit about tonight's event and the significance for everybody's fallen friend Duke here.
Duke was an employee at CRS for a number of years. Very good fabricator, took pride in his work. Just an all-around good guy. Really loved racing. Little Valley was one of the best places he liked to race. He helped some guy. Not only did he build cars and work for us, but he helped some racers here, and he really enjoyed coming to Little Valley, so we thought this was a perfect place to have a race for him.
We've talked to a few drivers already tonight who have said, Duke's helped me with setup here, or helped me figure this place out. I mean, the long straights and the tight corners just seemed like he was kind of, for some people, that go-to guy, that good guy that you like to run into in the pits.
Yep, yeah, absolutely. Duke was willing to help out any of our customers and went above and beyond that, and really enjoyed it, just like we all do. And we all miss Duke, definitely, and we wanted to put this race on for his behalf and honor him.
Now, I understand that the significance with the 58 was his car number. Tell us a little bit about the announcement recently. They increased the purse, and then they have all of the place finishes and the numbers all having the 58 significance.
Yeah, when Duke, he raced a little bit himself, had a street stock car and then a super stock car, as the BRP 360s were called back years ago. He did a little bit of racing himself. He was always number 58, always had good-looking green cars. And then even after he kind of got out of racing, he helped a pretty good racer by the name of Todd Hansen, and they won a lot of races here at Little Valley, and they always had a white and green number 58. So yeah, definitely that was his number, and that's kind of what the deal is behind the 1558 to pay, and I think it's 758 for second. That was just Duke's number.
And, with all the cars, you have 5 different classes of cars tonight. Good field of BRPs running for the 1558 tonight. I got to believe wherever he's watching from, Duke's smiling tonight.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think he would be proud of this deal for sure.
Well, thanks for your time, giving us a little more information about the Duke Duclain Memorial, and I'm going to have a good race here tonight.
Okay, thank you.
All right, that is Joel Close from Close Racing Supply, giving us some memories and some information behind the Duke Duclain Memorial.
And I want to thank both Sharon Duclain and Joel Smith for joining us while we were there at Little Valley talking about Duke and all their good memories and why they were running the Duke Duclain Memorial. They were very open with their time, and just want to thank them for, I'm sure, what was probably a hard, emotional day to try and get through, but with all the race fans and all the race cars in attendance, I know Duke was smiling down on them yesterday. Let's go into the results and recap for the Tour Stop number 1 for the 2014 Bicknell Racing Products Can-Am 360 Late Model Series. Stop number 1 there at Little Valley yesterday, and picking up heat wins, and boy, both of these guys looked really strong in their heat races. Bruce Miller and Mike Wunderling driving the Z1 car. Bruce Miller, of course, driving his famous black number 80, and Bruce Miller was an 8-time winner at Little Valley, including the first BRP race ever run, which was at the Little Valley Speedway. This was event number 142 for the series, so Bruce Miller showing that, that is, I guess we could call that the track for the BRPs that Bruce Miller built there. So we're going to talk to both Bruce and Mike about their heat race victories, so let's swing over and talk to those guys.
After the heats here at Little Valley, John Waters shutting his car off over there. We're going to talk to a guy here who's won 8 times here with the BRP Tour at Little Valley, Bruce Miller. Bruce won the heat in pretty convincing fashion. Look like you've got everything under control tonight.
Yeah, so far so good. The track, even though it shows like there's dust out there, the track has actually got a lot of bite in it. And it makes me kind of debate whether or not I want to change anything for the feature, but I'll jack it up and take off the wheels and see how things go out there.
Yeah, I mean, you've got, I think, 4 other classes competing tonight. Do you anticipate the track changing a lot?
Yeah, I would say probably with the amount of cars here. Typically, the first night of the year, the track stays pretty consistent between the heat and the feature, but last year, it did actually slick off a little bit, so I'm not going to go with my real old notes. I'm going to kind of go with last year and keep an eye on the track and see what it looks like in the later stages of the heats and adjust from there.
Tell us about this track, Little Valley here. Pretty good speed on the straights, tight corners. Going to have 18, 19 cars later on in the feature. Should be a pretty good race.
Yeah, this is definitely my favorite track to race at. And
I'd say so with 8 wins.
Yep, I don't know if it's wins because I like it or just kind of suits my driving style or what, but I definitely like this track, and there is a pretty good field of cars here tonight. I mean, I think all the classes are racing in general. The numbers are not as high as they used to be, so 19 cars for our class is a good car count, and I would anticipate a good race tonight.
Congrats on the win, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you on later.
Hey, thanks. I hope so.
All right, that's Bruce Miller. He drives the 80 car and gets the win in heat number 1 here at Little Valley. Pit side here at Little Valley Speedway. Going to talk with the winner of heat number 2 here for the BRP Can-Am Late Models, Mike Wunderling. Mike, car looked real strong out there for you.
Yeah, it's running really good. I got Jeremy, my youngest boy that just moved up the crate. I got his motor in it, and he's pretty much got the setup like he had his car last year. And it runs really good. I hope it finishes pretty good in the feature. 2 or 3.
Talked to a few guys so far, and they're not really sure what, if anything, they're going to change for the feature. Do you anticipate anything at this point?
I'm going to change a lot. Because the track's going to get slippery.
Yeah.
I got a number of changes I'll do along with tires.
All right. And looking forward to the feature. Have you guys done the redraw already?
Yeah, I redrew 5.
Okay, how do we feel about that?
If everything goes smooth, it'll be all right. I just, that initial start, if everybody jams up and stuff, we got to get, because I think the car's fast enough to get right to the front. The cars ahead of me, I don't think are faster than me, but you got to get there without getting damaged.
Right. Well, congratulations on the heat win, and hopefully we're talking to you again after the feature.
Thank you.
All right, that's Mike Wunderling, driver of the Z1. He's going to start 5th here in the feature for the BRP Can-Am Late Models at Little Valley.
And there's your heat race winners, Bruce Miller and Mike Wunderling. And then as we got ready for the 20-lap feature there at Little Valley, early on, it was Dave Du Bois who had a strong running 0-1-2 car. Of course, both cars started on the front row. Looked like a normal night out at Raceway 5. But, Du Bois had a strong ride early, made his way out front. Mike Wunderling had to start back in the 5th position with John Waters, one of the perennial favorites, starting in the 8th position, and those guys made quick work to try and work their way up through there. Early on, running in the top 5 strongly were Bruce Miller, Bob Close made his way up through there, Adam Depew made his way up through the field, up into the top 5 at different portions of the event as well. But one of the stories of the night was just trying to get that race going. Had a lot of yellow flags around the first 5 to 10 laps of the event. Had a hard time just getting a series of laps going. Brad, I know you were out there with me covering the BRPs out at Little Valley, and tough sledding early on. Had a lot of cars had to be towed off, and only just a couple wreckers to work with. So just trying to get the feature event in was a challenge at first.
It was our friend Steve Kellogg made a post that I believe he was keeping track on his stopwatch. Somewhere in the range of 20 minutes into the race, and we're still stuck on lap 6. It seemed like we would get 1 lap in, 2 laps in, yellow flag. We'd go back green on lap 3, come around for lap 4, and there's another yellow flag. We'd go green on lap 4, and there's another yellow flag on lap 4. So I think it was really hard. I think if the race could have gone green a lot longer stretch, there was a lot of really good 2 and 3 and sometimes even 4 wide racing, which we were talking about when the BRPs did a 4 wide salute for the Duclain Memorial. We were curious how they would even fit 4 cars around Little Valley, but they managed to do it. But certainly racing a late model 3 wide around Little Valley is definitely a sight to be seen.
Oh, for sure. I mean, Little Valley is a half-mile track, really a paperclip shape. I mean, almost a perfect paperclip. Long straightaways carry a lot of speed, and then you get into the corners, and the corners are pretty tight, both in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So not really a huge surprise to see a lot of jingles in the corner. But really, when there was the green flag stretches of racing, it was really good racing in the top 5 and scattered throughout the top 10 as well. Again, Du Bois was strong early. He led up until lap 9. It was on a lap, coming around lap 9 on a restart where Du Bois pushed up high, tried to make the outside cushion work, just couldn't make it happen. Mike Wunderling and John Waters both got by on that lap, and Du Bois would get kicked back to 3rd, and that's where he would end up finishing. And as the race wore on and time kept going, they had to cut the race from 20 laps down to 15. And coming around with 2 to go, Waters was all over Wunderling and actually ended up hitting the backstretch wall. And just a shower of sparks littered the racetrack after Waters hit the wall. And he was really going after it. They got the white flag, and then coming down into 3 and 4, we couldn't see it from our vantage point, but from what we understood, there was some framming and jamming back there in turns 3 and 4 between Wunderling and Waters. I see the right rear quarter of Wunderling's car was folded up pretty good when he made his way around to victory lane. And then coming down to the checkered flag, we were able to shoot a video, and we had a tough angle. We weren't straight on with the flag stand, but from the tough angle we had, kind of looked like Waters pulled Wunderling all the way down the straightaway, and then when the race was over, the call from the flag stand that came through was that Wunderling had won over Waters. And Brad, you were there with me. This was kind of a controversial call after we kind of have had time to go back and look through everything, but series director Gary Montgomery has been on Race New York already today. Fans have been giving him and his series a bit of a browbeating today on Facebook and on Race New York's forums, and it's one of those unfortunate deals that the race was so close you had to rely on the call from the flag stand, and obviously the call from the flag stand is a bit different than some of the fans that were in attendance and some folks that have looked at our video. And again, I want to repeat that our video was not directly lined up with the flag stand, so you can't use ours as an official looking at the finish there, Brad. But you can definitely the angle that we had, it certainly looked like Waters had an advantage.
It did. I mean, I don't know what exactly we can say about it other than I think it was honestly I think it was a poor call. Clearly there were numerous people up in the grandstands that saw the 11 car cross the line in front of the Z1. There was people in the infield that saw the 11 car cross the line before the Z1, but that one person in the flag stand who actually has a say in it says the Z1 crossed in front of the 11. So, it is what it is. I think it's like any sport. You've got the officials' judgment, and it just depends on what they see and what they sometimes say what they saw.
Yeah, and really at this point, there's no way to go back and say, well, you have a split second decision to try and make a judgment on who won the race and who didn't, and just a tough deal. I know John Waters was real disappointed, but he certainly used that anger that he had about the way that race finished up to go out and really just put a whooping on the Crate late model field. And he ended up taking the win there in the crate late models. So let's go over and talk about the results first, and then we'll get into our interviews. Mike Wonderling was awarded the win. John Waters was second. Dave Du Bois came home third. Mikey Wonderling fourth, and Adam Depew came up to a top 5 finish. Was a rough night the night before for them. They blew a motor in hot laps at Woodhall. They loaded it right up, headed back to the Dundee Himrod area, get that motor changed, get him back down, and over to Little Valley for Sunday night's race, and with a top 5 finish. I know those guys have got to feel real good about that. 6 through 10 was your hard charger, Jay McConnell. He came from 15th to 6th. That got him the $100 hard charger award. 7th was DJ Krug. 8th, John Rivers. 9th, John Zimmerman. And Cecil LeBaron rounded out the top 10 out there at Little Valley. Let's go to our interviews. We'll start off with John Waters, who was a bit disappointed with his second-place effort and in getting the crate late model win. And then we'll also hear from Mike Wonderling, who was your winner for the first race of the 2014 season and his first BRP feature tour win on the series. Let's hear from those guys.
Pit side here at Little Valley. Going to talk to John Waters. Gets a second and a win tonight. Let's talk about the BRP race, John. Tell me about your run tonight. You started 8th and going to come home second tonight.
Yeah, the second was a little disappointing for us. You know, I knew the car was good right off the bat. And unfortunate, yeah, there was a lot of cautions in there. And but a race that's prestigious as this, with the Duke and the money on the line, you don't cut a race no matter what. Down to 15 laps for one thing that I want to mention. But it was a good race, good guys. You know, I didn't like how I got raced, but that's racing. So we just got to move on, head to the next. And it was hard keeping a cool head, you know, after that one to go to this deal. But it's going to, it helped me. It helped me a little bit. You know, I was kind of beat down, so I didn't have much time to get too mad. So. Yeah. Unfortunately, we come second, but we'll take it. You know, it was a good finish for us and the Troops Creek Auto Parts car, you know, CRS. These guys, my crew and all these guys just did a wonderful job today.
They had to service 2 cars tonight, so not an easy feat.
No, not an easy feat at all. It's tough work, and they got the job done. And, you know, first and second on 2 cars tonight, we'll take it, and I'll run with that.
Now, as we got the E-mods going by here, talk to me about that. I wanted to ask about the fuel situation. When you guys have a race like this, how much fuel? Do you guys put a full load on, or do you have an idea of how much you think you're going to need?
Usually, I don't get too technical. I just top it right off and we go racing.
All right. Thank you very much, and congratulations on your crate win.
Thanks a lot.
All right, that's John Waters. Comes home second tonight in the BRPs at Little Valley. Here in the pits after the Duke Duclon Memorial Race here at Little Valley. Going to talk to your winner for the first tour event of 2014 for the BRP Can-Am late models, Mike Wonderling. Mike, how'd you do it tonight?
The car was set up right. In that car, Duke built.
Really?
Years ago. It's like a 2006 chassis, so it's 8 years old. But it's been reworked and my youngest boy that come out and congratulated me, that was his motor.
Right.
That he only run like 2 times last year, and Tony Foth built it. I mean, it's a good, strong motor, but yeah. I don't think it's any stronger than a few of them other ones out there. I mean, it was a dogfight, man.
Oh, it was. It was a great battle, and you had to come from the 5th starting position. Kind of slowly worked your way up there and then finally got the lead and had to hold off John Waters.
Yep, John, let's see, he started 8th. I started 5th. We got by Bruce Miller. He slid up high on the track and got into the rough stuff and got sideways and stuff. And so he was the main competitor until Johnny come along. I knew Johnny'd be there. He's always there.
Yeah.
He's a tough competitor. And he about used me up. I mean, the sides, the back, everything, he wanted to win. He's a tough competitor. And him and my youngest boy Jeremy, they've raced neck and neck for 7-8 years.
They raced neck and neck in the crate feature.
Yeah, Johnny was just a little bit better. I was hoping Jeremy could get him, but he wasn't. He didn't quite have the setup.
Tell us what it means to win the Duke Duclawn Memorial. You said Duke built this car originally. What's it mean to win the Memorial race?
Yeah, I've always wanted to win the Brock Young. Brock was real close to our whole family.
Okay.
Jeremy's won it a couple times, but yeah, Duke, he's the same way. He was, he worked the closest for a long time, and he just a super guy. He didn't deserve, what he was handed. It's just too bad. And like I say, neither did Brock. But yeah, we're definitely going to get it tuned up a little bit more, so maybe we can get the Brock Young too.
All right, well, congratulations on the win, and who do you have to thank for getting that Z1 to victory lane?
Like I say, my youngest boy, Jeremy, he gave me all the setups because his car was almost a duplicate to this, and I got the motor off him, and that Tony Foth bought, or built. I mean, he built a super piece. I mean, it runs really well.
Yeah.
And, we set it up just exactly like his was set up last year. And well, we changed one thing tonight. I don't know if it helped, but if it wouldn't if it wouldn't have worked, I would have caught help from Jeremy.
Sure.
But yeah, we got CRS. They helped me out a lot. Joel Smith.
Yep.
Works over there, and I mean, he's a car nut. He knows everything there is to know about racing. And he set me up with the new A-frames and all of him and Steve. They do a wonderful job.
Well, congratulations again, and we'll see you out at the next tour stop.
Okay, thank you.
All right, that's Mike Wunderling. Takes the win tonight here at Little Valley.
Well, that was Mike Wunderling who got the win, his first tour win ever, and first win of 2014 on the tour, obviously being the first tour stop. Their next tour stop will be in June. It'll be right there at the Little Valley Speedway. They've got a couple races there, and then they'll move around a little bit to Raceway 5 and Freedom and Woodhall, and just going to be a pretty good tour this year. A lot of competition there for the BRP 360 late models. Let's move over to the Ransomville Speedway. Friday night, they had a Tri-Track Series event, paying $3,000 to win there, and a lot of heavy hitters came out to that one, including Danny Johnson in the old school 27J car, as well as Tim McCready making a rare Ransomville start. He had the night off from the World of Outlaw late models, so he decided to come out. He was driving a Scott Kerwin backup car, number 7T, sponsored by Blue Cross and Blue Shield. And Timmy just had an awfully strong car all night long. Nobody had anything for the 7T. He was so far gone all night long. I put on Twitter he was in the 585 area code. I mean, just an absolutely dominating performance from top to bottom. We spoke with your 3 heat race winners. Those were Tim McCready, Danny Johnson, and Jeff McGinnis. So we'll talk to those folks from the heat winners out there at Ransomville. Here at Ransomville after the modified heats, winner of heat number 1, a familiar face with everybody, Tim McCready. Tim, good to see you out here at Ransomville tonight.
Yeah, it's fun to be here. These guys, the 7 car, it's a privilege to drive for them. They got a real strong program, and hopefully I can do them justice.
How does a deal like that come about? They just give you a call and say, come drive our car, or how's that work?
Well, we have I have a crew guy, John Coco, who is family with one of the owners and former owners. They've got 3 guys that own it, I believe, and it's a neat deal. They work their tails off their whole lives to be able to do what they do with these cars, and they got Scotty Kerwin driving it, and we've just gotten to know each other, all of us, over the years. And with Johnny asked them and talked to them, and they decided it was cool for me to drive it last year when we did it, and Vic drove it before, Vic Coffey before when we were going to Sweeteners when he was there before. So it's neat, and it's first class equipment. I mean, if it wins tonight, it's probably not the driver, it's probably the car. So I'm just happy to be here.
Speaking of that, what's it going to take tonight? $3,000 on the line tonight.
Well, we just got to stay up on things. I mean, we're good, but when you're in the first heat and you're out front, it makes the stopwatch maybe lie a little bit and tell you you're fast when maybe you might not be because you're in an early heat. So we just got to try to stay on board. I love Ransomville. I came here when I was a kid when my dad would travel weekly to race here, and I come down here several times when I was running modifieds, and it's a racer's track. I mean, usually the best guys can get up through there, whether it's Pete or Danny. You know, they can come up through there and put it on you. So I don't know. I mean, I don't usually like starting right on the front row, but that's what we got. So we'll try to hold them off.
After Ransomville tonight, where you guys head to next?
We got to be in West Virginia tomorrow, so we got like a 6.5 hour trip or so. But that's a short one. We're used to going 12, 15 hours. So we get a couple of late model races the next 2 nights. So we'll finish the weekend off down there in West Virginia and hopefully leave here tonight with some money.
Yeah. Well, good luck tonight, and thanks for your time.
Thanks a lot.
All right, that's Tim McCready. He's driving the 7T tonight. He'll start from the front row here at Ransomville. Out here at the Ransomville Speedway tonight, big modified race here, $3,000 to win. Winner of heat race number 2, Danny Johnson. Dan, you looked really hooked up out there, and it seems like when you guys bring this car here, you guys have really got this place figured out.
We're very fortunate people to have such a great hot rod, and I got to thank Lisa Maroney for giving me such a great hot rod, and McNell's and all that. But just to thank my guys and all that. It's just a great hot rod. Yeah, we're just on fire right now.
Got a lot of good folks here working with you tonight. Looking ahead to the feature, what do you think it's going to take to put it in victory lane tonight?
The car to continue running well, and so good luck.
All right, well, good luck tonight, and congratulations on the heat win.
Thank you very much.
All right, Danny Johnson takes heat number 2 here at Ransomville. Here in the pits at Ransomville, going to talk to the guy that won heat number 3, Jeff McGinnis. Jeff, car looked real strong out there.
Yeah, really. After the first, it was pretty strong last week, and got in a wreck, and come back this week, and it's just as good.
Now, you guys have already had the redraw. You know you're going to start in the top 6. What do you look for in the feature?
Patience. We got 50 laps.
Yeah.
Stay clean and see what we got at the end.
How, as far as setup handling, you guys have any major changes you're going to make for the feature?
No, just tighten the car up a little bit and see what happens.
All right, well, good luck. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, that's Jeff McGinnis. Picks up heat number 3 here at Ransomville.
Well, there was your 3 heat race winners out there at Ransomville. And as we moved over to the feature event, more domination from T-Mac. Tim McCready, he took the lead right from the get-go. And, a couple of cautions in the early running. The first caution of the night actually taking Eric Rudolph and Chad Brockman and kind of threw those guys for a loop. They both had really hard nights all night long. Rudolph and Brockman both had a problem, got into a tangle with each other in the heat race. It kind of looked like something had broke on Rudolph's car, which kind of got him sent off sideways, and then Brockman had nowhere to go. They had to replace the entire front axle assembly on Brockman's car. They were just barely able to get him back out for the feature, and those guys actually got into a jingle of really not of their doing early on in the race, and Brockman came in and Rudolph came in to check their cars over, and back out they went, but Eric was only able to get himself up to a 6th place finish, and Brockman was toward the tail end of the top 10. But again, McCready, just nobody had anything for him. He would pull out, whether he started on the inside or the outside for a restart. Jeff McGinnis ran up there in the top 5 for a long while, trying to give McCready whatever he could, but McCready would just pull away. McGinnis would actually end up blowing his motor toward the halfway toward the end of the event, and that would be a tough end for him. I went over and talked to the McGinnis crew after the race, and they said they're not sure what blew up, but it blew up pretty big, and the next the next place for that engine was probably going to be the scrap metal yard and try and start over from there. So they were at least able to have a little bit of humor with what ended up being a terrible run. But in the end, it was Tim McCready. Nobody had anything for him. Coming home second was a hard-charging Randy Chrysler. Even though he didn't have anything from McCready, I still felt like, boy, if he could just try and get his way a little closer to T-Mac, it would have been interesting to see what the race was there. But he had a great battle with Robbie Krall. Krall came home third, Danny Johnson fourth, and rounding out the top 5 was Sam Krogan. 6 through 10 was Eric Rudolph, Chad Chevalier, Pete Bicknell, Tom Flanagan, and Chad Brockman rounded out the top 10 there at Ransomville. We've got interviews with your top 5 finishers from Ransomville. We'll start with 5th place and work our way up to the winner. So let's start with 5th place, Sam Krogan. Post-race here at Ransomville. Going to speak with our 5th place finisher, Sam Krogan. Sam, nice top 5 finish. Started up on the front row. 50 long laps here at Ransomville.
Yeah, our car seemed to be a little loose at the start, and then that track kind of came to us a little bit too to help the car, but they already had passed us. So
it seemed like track definitely slickened up, but didn't look like anybody had anything for McCready tonight.
No, he was pretty stout. In the heats, I had him in the heats, and he pulled me on the inside, and then he pulled me on the outside in the feature too. So yeah, he was pretty stout.
What do you guys have coming up this weekend?
Nothing really. We were just one night a week racer, so we just race here on Friday nights. Places when we can, and when basically time and stuff like that. So.
Well, with a stout field here tonight, 5th place has got to feel good for the team.
Oh, it feels really good, yeah. Car was really running good, second night out with me and the car, so we'll take that. That's good.
All right, he brings the car home in 5th place tonight here at Ransomville. Post-race here at Ransomville, going to get a word with Danny Johnson, comes home 4th tonight. Danny, you had to work hard to get back up to 4th after that one restart there.
Yeah, it's just tough sledding for me tonight. The car just wasn't where it needed to be. Just didn't get the restarts that we needed. We always got stuck on the bottom and just couldn't get our momentum going.
Looking ahead at the rest of the weekend, you guys have your plans filled out for the weekend?
No, we take it one day at a time.
Okay. Thanks for your time and good luck.
Thank you, sir.
All right. That's Danny Johnson going to come home 4th tonight after a tough sledding there on the one restart. Pitside here after the 50 laps at Ransomville. Going to talk with our 2nd and 3rd place finishers here, Randy Chrysler and Robbie Krall. Randy, got to be happy with coming home 2nd place tonight. I know you probably want the win, but you guys had a pretty strong run in 2nd.
You know what? For me, just racing is a win. Just being here with the family and wife and my son, he's racing now. Just to be here in the pits is just awesome. But to come in 2nd against Tim McCready and beat Robbie Krall, what a fantastic night.
Tell us, where was your car running best tonight? Because you had to charge up through the field a little bit to get to 2nd.
Well, it seemed like on the restarts, the outside was the faster groove. They're more rolling on top. Let the car roll a bit more. And once I found that, I stuck to it. And it was just the car was. I just like to thank Charlie Rudolph. He's got me on coils and he's got me set up. He's over the house 2 or 3 times a week. Eric drives my car once in a while, and I just like to thank the Lord for just what he's done for me and just what he's capable of doing.
Any other races this weekend?
No, I got lacrosse Friday and Saturday. Saturday and Sunday, so I'm packed up. And I love to race when I can, and lacrosse comes 3rd in my life. The Lord, my wife, and my kids, but just an awesome night. Going to finish 2nd.
All right, well, that's Randy Chrysler. He's going to come home 2nd. Thank you. We're going to talk to Robbie Krall. Robbie, you also had to come through the field a little bit. Tell us about your run tonight.
I was a little worried in the beginning there. We faded back. Couldn't really find a good groove, but once I did, got heat in the tires, the car was phenomenal.
What groove was that you found?
Kind of in the middle. Keep the car as square as I could, and going in the middle, and I could kind of work it on the way out and try to get into brown. And Randy was good. T-Mac was gone. So, but I was chomping at the bit with Randy there. I could see him, the whole last half of the race. I was really hoping to keep moving up. But he drove a real good race. He was fast. I'm happy. Car's fast. Got something to work on.
You guys had a yellow flag with 8 laps to go. What were you thinking at that point? Did you think, oh, maybe this could be my shot?
No, I thought that probably hurt me because it seemed like I was better on a long run. Right before that yellow, actually, I had a shot at Randy there, and the yellow came out, and I don't know, who knows what would have happened. If I got him, I think it would have been hard to get back by me the way the track was. But, yeah, I didn't really want to see that yellow.
What do you guys have any other races this weekend?
Yeah, we race for the Sittler race team over at Maryville Speedway, St. Catharines. So we'll be there tomorrow night and then enjoy some time with my family the rest of the weekend.
There you go. Just for the fans that may not be familiar with Ransomville, how far is Merrittville from here?
I'm about 15 minutes south of here, Ransomville. And then Merrittville takes me probably about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on the bridge.
Sure.
So it's really not bad at all of a drive, and been doing it for 20-some years, so I enjoy going over there.
Well, congratulations on your run, and got to feel good with the top 5.
Oh, yeah, it's always good.
All right, that's Robbie Crawl. He comes home in 3rd place tonight, and pretty good run for them. And if you've never been out here to the Ransomville Speedway, or Merrittville for that matter, you can get to both of those within about an hour of each other, so make a nice Friday, Saturday night swing for you. Pit side after the 50-lapper here at Ransomville, talking with your winner, Tim McCready. Tim, boy, what a hot rod you had tonight.
Yeah, it's amazing. These guys that worked their tails off on this car, it's like I said out there, they've worked, all the guys that own this thing, they've all worked hard their entire lives, and they put together this whole car, and it's a beautiful piece. It's nice stuff. The motor runs really good, and I used all their setup stuff. Maryville, we went a little my way Monday, and we were off. I mean, we were off. We were on 3rd, but we came here tonight, and everything Scott Kerwin said to do is what we did. And thanks to Johnny Coco, my crew guy that come with us on the late models, and Huey Naylor and Frog. It's a great way to start the weekend off, that's for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, with all that said about the team, to come in and sit down in their cars, got to mean a lot to bring a win home for them.
Oh, I know. I mean, I've driven this thing a few times, and we've been 6th and 4th, and usually starting in the back, and we get up there. But I mean, they put me in this car because they want to try to get 2 cars, 1st and 2nd. So Scotty usually gets it done here all the time, and so it's to jump in this thing, I got to at least try to be halfway good, and it's a joy to drive it. It's a lot of fun. It's relaxed atmosphere, and they're great people. So I just thank you for letting me do it.
You talked before the feature about starting on the front row and being maybe a little concerned about that. It seemed like on the starts you were able to just jump out, set your own pace. Was that the key tonight?
Oh, I think starting up front always helps on some nights. I mean, tonight it was a little, you could maneuver if you're in the lead. You could drive through the middle of 3 and up to the cushion because it was a little dusty on the way outside getting in, so you didn't really need to travel up there. Just took some speed away from the car, so that's nice. But you also don't know what's really fast. If the groove changes, I'm out there just running way up against the wall. Next thing you know, a car shows up beside me and it's too late. So I've been a guy that likes to be a little off the pole and then come up through and make my way. But we're not going to complain about nothing tonight, that's for sure.
All right, well, good luck the rest of the weekend with the late model. You guys have had some strong runs here recently.
Yeah, it's a testament to my guys. I mean, we've been working hard, and Mark Richards with Rocket Chassis and Pro Power Engines, all them guys at Tiger Shocks. It's been a great effort, and it's nice to see everything turn, and it's rubbed off onto my modified stuff too. And we'll run 2 here in West Virginia, and then go Monday to Utica Rome with Vinny Salerno's car and try to get another.
Well, we'll see you there at Utica. Congratulations again tonight.
Thanks a lot.
All right, that's Tim McCready. He gets the $3,000 win tonight at Ransomville.
So a great run for Tim McCready there at Ransomville, taking home the $3,000 win. They headed down to West Virginia for some World of Outlaw late models action, and then he was going to make his way back up here to the Utica Rome Speedway for tonight's Race of Champion Modified Tour 100-lapper for the Victoria weekend out at Utica Rome. So congratulations to T-Mac. We're going to go off to a break. When we come back, we've got more local racing results. You're listening to Turn 5. Penn Yan Electronics is the official Radio Shack dealer of the Turn 5 Racing Podcast. They're also the only Radio Shack dealer in the Penn Yan area. Visit them at 103 Main Street in beautiful downtown Penn Yan for all of your electronics, cable, music, and cell phone needs. Visit Penn Yan Electronics or give them a call, 315-536-7700. Penn Yan Electronics. RaceChaserOnline.com is your home for news, views, and driver interviews. You can catch everything from F1 to IndyCar, NASCAR, short track, and dirt car. You can also find them on Speed 77 Radio Mondays on Shoutcast. Catch Motorsports Madness live at 7 p.m. and the Stock Car Steel SRI Motorsports Report Thursdays at 7 p.m. Race Chaser Online. Creekside Entertainment is the official DJ and photo booth of the Turn 5 Racing Podcast. If you need karaoke for your bar or party, or if you need the photo booth to create memories that'll last a lifetime, give Stu a call at 315-481-9700, or you can find him on Facebook, search Creekside Entertainment, or find him on the World Wide Web, www.creeksideentertainmentdj.com.
Are you looking for a new podcast that stimulates your mind while tickling your funny bone? Then head over to question-everything.net and download M&M Question Everything, the new and noteworthy podcast that has critics saying things like, "Good job," and "I liked it." With rave reviews like that, what are you waiting for? Find the show on iTunes, Stitcher, streaming online, and anywhere else podcasts exist. M&M Question Everything, a podcast that doesn't take sides.
Your dirt track home for news, discussion, and driver interviews along with race results. You're listening to Turn 5.
Welcome back, race fans, to the Turn 5 Racing Podcast, brought to you by all of those great sponsors. And I want to give a little tip of the cap to our friends over at the M&M Question Everything podcast. They're running some promos for us. When in return, we're running some promos for those guys. So thank you guys for your support. Let's get to some local racing results here. Going to start with the Woodhall Raceway running. They were supposed to have a Friday night show along with a Saturday night show for the George Williams Memorial Trophy races. And Friday night show ended up getting rained out, and it was unfortunate there, but they were able to run Saturday night. And let's start out with the Napa Crate Sportsman. And I'm going to have my producer here give me my spectacles. But we got Napa Crate Sportsman, 25 laps, 30 cars in attendance for the Crate Sportsman. Just a great field of sportsmen. Those guys have really done themselves a nice job getting fields of 30 cars there Saturday night. Heat races for the Crate Sportsman taken by A.J. Costley and Russ Morseman. Art Goodyear also taking a heat win there. The Consi won by Steve Andrulonis, and taking his first feature win of the year in the Crate Sportsman, Art Goodyear got the win over Josh Scheuer, Tim Guild, Corey Costa, and Russ Morseman. 6 or 10 was A.J. Costley, Brett Buno, Dylan Groover, Chris Doherty, and Colin Brown rounded out your top 10 in the Crate Sportsman. Insinger Performance, 370 Modifieds. Those guys were doing 35 laps on Saturday night. They had 18 cars. Heat wins taken by Dale Welty and Brian Doolittle. And picking up his first modified feature win, and I believe this may even be his first modified win of his career, certainly at Woodhall, Brady Fultz, Dundee, New York's own Brady Fultz, brought it home. The Troyer Race Cars, number 70, got the victory on Saturday night. Congratulations, Brady. Those guys really found something over there at Woodhall, and glad to see a local guy get the win there. Donnie Lawson had to settle for second. Mike Bills was third. Eric Fisher fourth. And BVP, Billy Van Pelt, who we saw Friday at Ransomville, rounded out the top 5 Saturday at Woodhall. 6 or 10 was Stacy Jackson, Frank Dunning, Bobby Davis, Ron Cartwright Jr., and Dale Welty rounded out your top 10 there at Woodhall. Joe Wilcox, Street Stocks, 20 laps, 13 cars in attendance. Heat wins to Teddy Morseman and Brett Marlott. And getting his third win of the year, Teddy Morseman over Rich Sharpstein, Brett Marlott, Craig Crooker, and Jared Dennis. 6 through 10 was Jeremy Petrobowski, who made the switch over on his chassis to go over to Woodhull. Tracy Dunn was 7th. 8th, Gary Archer. Bobby Hall was 9th. And Josh Parker rounded out your top 10 there for the Joe Wilcox Street Stocks. S&W Awards photos, 360 late models, 12 cars in attendance. Jay McConnell and Cecil LeBaron picked up heat wins and getting his first win of the year. Imagine that, Brad. First win of the year for Glenn Rittenauer. That guy just dominates there at Woodhull, and just now getting his first win of the season. Steve LeBaron got second. Josh Smith third. Cecil LeBaron fourth. Carl Hughes rounded out your top 5. 6 through 10 in the late models was Jared Hill, Fred Amon, Mick Seeley, Jason McGregor, and Jay McConnell. Signs Plus Mini Stocks, 15 cars in attendance. Heat win went to Chad Ayers. And picking up his third win of the year there at Woodhull, Jason Gleason got the win over Rick Amadon. Mike L. We don't have the last name here on the press release. Mike L. got third. Sorry, Mike. Fourth was Josh Collins, and John Hand rounded out your top 5. Jake Evingham, Derek Purier, Chris Hand, Mike Navone, and Mike Kozer rounded out your top 10 there for the mini stocks. Woodhull Auto Supply front-wheel drives, 13 cars in attendance. Heat wins to Ryan Austin and Joe Bertzel, and picking up his second win of the year. And fittingly so, on Memorial Day weekend, in the Prisoners of War Missing in Action American Legion ride, Ryan Austin got his second win of the year over Cody Baker, Joe Bertzel, Carl LeBaron, and Jay McConnell, your top 5. 6 through 10, Matt Prescott, Adam Del Grosso, Nate Freeland, Sean Gleason, and Eric Simmons. Some extra notes here from Woodhull. Start time 6:35, end time 10:45. $648 was the 50-50. And the Napa Driver of the Week, Dundee's own Jared Hill. And total car count for the 6 classes, 101 cars. They will be back in action next weekend down there at New York's toughest bull ring. Let's move over to the Land of Legends. Canandaigua Motorsports Park, Saturday night. Big block modified feature, getting his second win of the year. And boy, Brad, let me tell you what a pass in the middle of the race by Billy Dunn. As we said on Twitter, get her done. Billy Dunn gets his second win of the year over Matt Shepard, Vinny Vitale, Justin Hares, and Batman, Peter Britton, rounded out your top 5. 6 through 10 was the Hurricane, Steve Payne. Our buddy Matt Billings from up in Canada came home 7th. Chad Holman 8th, Eldon Payne 9th, and Dale Plank rounded out your top 10. I'm sorry, man. I just got to, work in Matt Billings. He's our buddy. Got his first win last weekend.
If you're going to work him in, at least know where he's from.
Yeah, I gotcha. Well, Matt, we got you a little more time this week, bud. Safety Awareness Solutions Sportsman feature finish, getting his second win in as many weeks. Steve Gray got the win over Dave Marcichelli, Jeff DeVoli, Ricky Newton, and Gibbs. Matt Guerry rounded out your top 5. 6 through 10 was Kane Bristol, the G-Man, Paul Guerry, AJ Lloyd, Kevin Ridley, who finally got back into a ride over there at Canandaigua. They thrashed on that car all week long, and including Friday night and Saturday morning to try and get that ride ready to go. He got 9th, and rounding out the top 10 was Rob Bussey. Dig Safely New York, 305 Race Saver Sprint feature finish. Imagine this, his first win of the year, and it comes on May 24th. Daryl Ruggles got the win there in the 305s over Todd Henderson. Alicia Ruggles in for 3rd. Steve Glover 4th, and Lance Doucette rounded out your top 5. 6 through 10 was Lee Sanders, Will Glover, John Azzi, and Daniel Kuhn, your top 10 there for the 305 sprints. Parts Plus Street Stock feature finish. Boy, Mike Welch almost had Stefanski. Just didn't have enough laps to catch him. He got real close, but just didn't have enough time to try and put a pass on. So Pete Stefanski gets another win in the Parts Plus Street Stock feature. Over Mike Welch, Bill Weller, Steve Paseric, and Blaine Smith. 6 through 10, Mike White, Pat Hobbs, Mark Parkhurst, Charles Harvey, and Ron Greek. Heat winner there was our buddy Blaine Smith in the 55B. Pure Stock feature, and getting another win in that division, C.J. Guerri. Boy, they've really hit on something over there at Canandaigua. He got another win there over Mr. Smooth, Mark Minutlo. Roger Bush, 4th. Brad Rathbun rounded out your top. No, he was 4th. Jared Labarge rounded out your top 5. 6 or 10 was Nick Dandino making a rare start in the Big Mike's Auto 52B. Ron Bollert, Sean Lloyd, and Wade Young rounded out the field there. C.J. Guerri getting the heat win. New Legend Sportsman feature finish. Getting another win in the New Legend Sportsman. Tim Baker got the win over James Sweeting, Jimmy Morton, Austin Fugel, and Tate Mangiarelli, your top 5. 6 through 10 was Ted Hayward, Jeremy Groskup, and Jason Scales. I guess they actually only had 8 cars there. Tate Mangiarelli took the win in the heat race. And then your demo derby results, Jerry Ott got the win over Linda Rice and Sean Halstead there for the demo derby at Canandaigua Motorsports Park. Let's take a look at the Canandaigua schedule upcoming for this coming weekend, May 31st, out there at the Land of Legends. Looks like this coming weekend we've got Corvettes by Turner presents a regular show of Big Block Modified Sportsman 305 Sprints, Pro Street Stocks, Pure Stocks, and New Legend Sportsman coming up this weekend out at the Land of Legends. Let's move to the Utica Rome Speedway. They had this is their Victoria weekend, and as that does on every holiday weekend during the summer, they had the Empire Super Sprints in town, and boy, what a run for Stuart Friesen. He won everything Sunday night at Utica Rome. Won his sprint car heat race, won his modified heat race, and then followed it up by winning the 25-lap A-Main for the Lucas Oil Empire Super Sprints. He got the win over the Cobra, Chuck Keebing, Jeff Cook, Danny Varon, and Steve Poirier, your top 5. 6 through 10 was Jay-Z, Jessica Zemkin, Michael Perrant, who was in his first ride back after the neck injury last year. And congratulations to Michael Perrant for making his return. Also got the Hard Charger Award Sunday night, finishing 7th. 8th was Matt Tanner, Tommy Wickham was 9th, and Robbie Stillwagon, a solid run in 10th there at Utica Rome. Let's move up to the modified finish. And again, Stuart Friesen got the win over Matt Shepard, Ryan Phelps, Danny Varon, and Larry White, your top 5. 6 through 10 was Pat Ward, Mike Mahaney, Danny Johnson, and Anthony Perego. 9th, and Billy Decker rounded out your top 10. So quite a stout field there for the modifieds. And I know a lot of guys were coming out to try and tune up for today's running of the Race of Champions Modified Tour. They're there for the Victoria race. It's going to be a 100-lapper for the ROC Modified, so it should be a pretty big show there. Other quick results from Utica Rome. Mike Walton took the sportsman finish, took the sportsman win, and I believe I read that was his first win there at Utica Rome. Tommy Denton took the win in the Pro Stocks, and in the Pure Stocks, it was Rusty Marsden taking the 15-lap win there out at Utica Rome. So again, they're having their Victoria race tonight out at the Action Track of the East, so make sure to keep tabs on that. I'm sure it's going to be a great race out there, and be sure to stay tuned to those guys for all of the results from that race. We're actually... Yeah, be sure to follow those guys. Should be some good action out there with Stuart Friesen getting the win the previous night. We'll see if he can repeat that there in the Victoria race. So those are the results and action that we've got to cover for this week's episode. Brad, let's talk about some upcoming races. We're actually going to go to a break, and when we come back, we'll wrap up the show and talk about what's coming up this coming weekend. You're listening to Turn 5. Penn Yan Electronics is the official Radio Shack dealer of the Turn 5 Racing Podcast. They're also the only Radio Shack dealer in the Penn Yan area. Visit them at 103 Main Street in beautiful downtown Penn Yan for all of your electronics, cable, music, and cell phone needs. Visit Penn Yan Electronics or give them a call, 315-536-7700. Penn Yan Electronics. RaceChaserOnline.com is your home for news, views, and driver interviews. You can catch everything from F1 to IndyCar, NASCAR, short track, and dirt car. You can also find them on Speed 77 Radio Mondays on Shoutcast. Catch Motorsports Madness live at 7 p.m. and the Stock Car Steel SRI Motorsports Report Thursdays at 7 p.m. Race Chaser Online. Creekside Entertainment is the official DJ and photo booth of the Turn 5 Racing Podcast. If you need karaoke for your bar or party, or if you need the photo booth to create memories that'll last a lifetime, give Stu a call at 315-481-9700, or you can find him on Facebook, search Creekside Entertainment, or find him on the World Wide Web, www.creeksideentertainmentdj.com.
Are you looking for a new podcast that stimulates your mind while tickling your funny bone? Then head over to question-everything.net and download M&M Question Everything, the new and noteworthy podcast that has critics saying things like, "Good job," and "I liked it." With rave reviews like that, what are you waiting for? Find the show on iTunes, Stitcher, streaming online, and anywhere else podcasts exist. M&M Question Everything, a podcast that doesn't take sides.
Your dirt track home for news, discussion, and driver interviews along with race results. You're listening to Turn 5.
Welcome back, race fans, to Turn 5. We're going to put a cap on it here tonight. Brad, let's go over and let's talk about our NASCAR picks, our picks from the Coca-Cola 600. You had taken, I believe you had Casey Kane. I took Clint Boyer, who had run pretty well before the Sprint All-Star race, and unfortunately those picks didn't pan out too well for us. Taking Jeff Gordon was Clint, and Clint got the best finish out of all of us there with Jeff Gordon. Clint Boyer had 2 loose wheels, as I understand, and didn't get the best finish there, so that's going to put Clint 2 points ahead of me. I got last place points, and we'll have to figure out our qualifying points as well. But anyway, getting first pick this week, we're headed to Dover. I'm going to look to a guy who just got a win at the Coke 600 and is pretty darn good at Dover. I'm going to go with Jimmy Johnson. I need to get back on track here to try and catch up with Clint, so I'm going to go with old 6-time out at Dover. Brad, you got next pick.
I'm going to go with Kevin Harvick.
Happy Harvick, all right. I believe he came home second in the Coke 600. So going to go with Happy Harvick there. And then Clint sent us his picks, and his first pick was not taken, and he's going to go with Matt Kenseth at Dover. Pretty good picks there for everybody. Should be interesting to see how it all plays out. So I went with Jimmy Johnson, Brad goes with Kevin Harvick, and Clint will go with Matt Kenseth. Coming up this weekend and even into the next week, going to be really busy out at Yates County Speedway. Make sure you're out there on Friday night, a regular show. We haven't been out there since May 2nd. It's going to be great to get back out there. We'll be there with Turn 5 covering all the action out at Yates County Speedway, so be sure to check all that out. Don't forget, next Tuesday, June 3rd is the rescheduled Race of Champion Modified Tour event at Yates County. Again, Turn 5 will be there covering all the action for you. And then they also have another regular show Friday, June 6th. So a lot of racing here in the next 8 to 10 days out there at our favorite little dirt track here in Yates County. So we'll be out there covering all the action. Hope you guys get out there as well. Make sure to get out to your local racetracks, Canandaigua, Woodhull, Yates County back in action this week, and everywhere else in between. Make sure to take all the kids with you to the races as well. Until next week's edition of Turn 5, you're listening to Turn 5.